Light showers. We begin with the most basic form of storm activity, light showers. These are those soft, steady drizzles you might experience while walking to school or sitting near a window on a cloudy day. They form when smaller clouds release modest amounts of moisture, often without thunder, lightning, or dramatic winds. To most people, light showers feel harmless and sometimes even comforting, creating that calming rain on the roof sound. But don't underestimate their role. They're incredibly important for ecosystems. They provide steady hydration to plants and farmland. And because the rain is light, the water soaks into the soil instead of washing away. Light showers also help clean the air by pulling down pollen and dust particles, providing some relief to people with allergies. While they don't make headlines, they're the building blocks of the storm scale, reminding us that every major weather event starts small. Moderate rainstorms. Next up are moderate rainstorms. These are more intense than light showers and are the type of storms that make you grab your umbrella or pull over while driving. Rain falls steadily, visibility decreases, and streets start to collect water. If drainage systems are clogged or soil is already saturated, even these moderate events can cause localized flooding. For cities, that can mean cars stuck in underpasses or pedestrians wading through knee-deep water. Moderate rainstorms also bring stronger gusts of wind, making umbrellas flip inside out and creating dangerous conditions for cyclists and drivers. They play a key role in weather cycles too, replenishing reservoirs and rivers. They may not always feel life-threatening, but moderate storms can slow down transportation, cancel flights, and interrupt supply chains. They mark the first level where weather moves from inconvenience to disruption. Thunderstorms. Now the intensity really steps up with thunderstorms. Thunderstorms form when warm, moist air rises quickly and collides with cooler air high in the atmosphere. That rapid movement creates the electrical charges responsible for lightning. Thunderstorms can be short-lived, but they pack a serious punch. They bring sheets of heavy rain, sudden hail, and lightning strikes powerful enough to start wildfires or knock out entire power grids. A single lightning bolt carries millions of volts of electricity, enough to cause fatal injuries or destroy structures. The rolling thunder that follows can be heard miles away, signaling just how much energy is being released. Thunderstorms also introduce another risk: tornadoes. Under the right conditions, the same unstable air currents that power the storm can spin into a rotating funnel. Even without tornadoes, thunderstorms cause flash floods, property damage, and injuries every year. They're unpredictable, dangerous, and often the storm type most people encounter in their daily lives. Tropical storms. As soon as storms over the ocean acquire organized wind circulation and wind speeds in excess of 39 miles per hour, they are categorized as tropical storms. At this point, they receive official names, which aids the general public and meteorologists in following their paths more efficiently. Although tropical storms have not yet reached the level of hurricane, they already pose significant dangers. In addition to being able to uproot trees and demolish fragile structures, their winds have the ability to cause landslides in hilly places when they bring heavy rainfall. Fishing can be disrupted, shipping traffic can be halted, and aircraft cancellations can be forced upon coastal communities as a result of tropical storms. They are also responsible for the generation of storm surges, which force seawater to move inland and inundate coastal neighborhoods. While some tropical storms lose power before reaching the threshold of becoming hurricanes, others undergo quick intensification. For this reason, governments provide early warnings even at this level, because the fact that tropical storms are ignored could imply that one is not prepared for a full-blown hurricane only days later. Category 1 hurricanes. When wind speeds exceed 74 miles per hour, tropical storms become hurricanes, starting with Category 1. This is where the destructive potential becomes clear. Category 1 hurricanes can peel shingles off roofs, snap power lines, and scatter debris through neighborhoods. Flooding along coastlines becomes common as seawater surges inland. Although Category 1 storms are considered the weakest tier on the hurricane scale, weak is misleading. They can still force mass evacuations, shut down entire cities, and leave communities without power for days or even weeks. Businesses close, supply chains stall, and local economies take a hit. Survivors often describe these storms as frightening experiences that leave lasting scars. The lesson is simple. There's no such thing as a harmless hurricane. Category 3 hurricanes. Jumping further up the scale, Category 3 hurricanes are classified as major hurricanes, with sustained winds of 111 to 129 miles per hour. These storms bring devastating damage. Roofs are ripped off homes, walls collapse, and trees are uprooted across entire neighborhoods. Floodwaters invade homes, making them uninhabitable for months. Power and water systems are often completely destroyed, forcing people into shelters for extended periods. Insurance claims skyrocket after Category 3 events, and recovery costs can reach billions. Governments deploy emergency services on a massive scale, and international aid is sometimes required. For survivors, life after a Category 3 hurricane can mean rebuilding from scratch. These storms highlight how quickly nature can erase years of human effort in just a few hours. Tornadoes, EF0 to EF5. While hurricanes dominate headlines, tornadoes deserve their own spot on the storm scale. Tornadoes are rated from EF0 to EF5 on the enhanced Fujita scale, based on wind speed and the damage they cause. EF0 tornadoes might only break branches or damage roof shingles, but EF5 tornadoes are on another level entirely. With winds over 200 miles per hour, an EF5 can lift entire houses off their foundations, toss cars like toys, and flatten entire towns. Unlike hurricanes, tornadoes are small in size but extremely concentrated. They'd often strike with little warning, giving residents minutes or even seconds to find shelter. The destruction path may be narrow, but it's absolute. Survivors often describe tornadoes as sounding like freight trains roaring through neighborhoods. They may last only a few minutes, but the scars, both physical and emotional, can last a lifetime. Superstorms. Sometimes storm systems don't fit neatly into categories. That's where superstorms come in. A superstorm occurs when multiple weather systems merge, creating an event with mixed characteristics. Hurricane-strength winds combined with snow, or torrential rain with record-breaking storm surges. Superstorm Sandy in 2012 is the most famous modern example. It battered the Caribbean, then slammed into the U.S. East Coast, flooding New York City subway tunnels and displacing millions. The damage was estimated at over $70 billion. Superstorms are terrifying because they break the rules. They don't behave like traditional storms, making them harder to predict and prepare for. They leave behind destruction across multiple states or even entire countries, proving that nature sometimes writes its own playbook. Derechos. The derecho is an example of a storm type that is not as well known. Fast-moving lines of thunderstorms combine to generate derechos, which are enormous windstorms. In contrast to tornadoes, which produce damage due to their spinning, derechos generate straight-line winds that can span vast distances. Wind speeds in a derecho can be comparable to that of a hurricane, which can level forests and bring down transmission towers. Agricultural disasters have occurred in the Midwest region of the United States as a result of derechos, which have destroyed millions of acres of crops in a single event. They are especially hazardous because of the fact that they are hundreds of miles in diameter and that they strike with little to no warning. When someone is in the midst of a derecho, it has the sensation of an interminable wall of wind and precipitation that pummels everything in its path for several hours.